Hello and welcome to Thursdays with Annette. I'm so excited to be in the kitchen with you today. So thanks for spending some time with me because we're making a fantastic recipe that had been requested and it came into the top 50 of the most favourite recipes, and I thought, let's do it. Never done it before. Where are we going? Well, we're going into the latest cookbook, More Cooking for One or Two, and we're making the Indian pasties. Oh my gosh, they're so good. And who doesn't love a pasty? But this has got a little bit of a twist to it because, you know, it's not like a traditional pasty. It's got the Indian flavours and that, so it's just scrumptious. Now, you know, we will be picking winners. If you want to know each week who wins, because, you know, three people are going to win, hopefully, the More Cooking for One or Two at the end of the show, and I make the announcements in the feed every Thursday before the show starts for the next week. So you've got to be in it to win it. Now, when I look at the ingredients I need here, first of all, I do have my oven preheated already to 220. Now, there is a delay in making this, so you might not want to put it on, just put it on so I know it's done. But I will show you how to make the filling, and then we will have to put that in the fridge to cool. Then we'll come back and we'll finish it off and put it in the oven, and then I'll come back again when it's all done. So we've got a 3-level show today. But before I get into the recipe, I just want to let you know that Queen's have decided to not manufacture the coconut essence anymore. I know, these companies do this stuff to me all the time. So I've actually made a large purchase before it's all finished so you can still be covered. So if you want any of the coconut essences now, go to my website, simplytoogood.com.au/shop, and you'll see the coconut essence is now in there for you. So good job done. All right, so what do we need for Indian pasties? So what we need is 200 grams of beef mince. Now you can make it with other mince, I'll tell you about it in a minute. We've got a potato here. I'm going to be chopping that up into small dice and microwaving it. So we only want half a cup of potato. We want 1/4 cup of finely diced onion, half a teaspoon each of ginger and garlic, and of course you can use fresh if you wish. I'm just using the jar because it's easy. Now the magic that comes to make this sauce or the filling so fabulous is I'm using the tikka paste. Now in the book it says tikka masala, but if it says tikka and it's a paste, not a sauce, a paste, then that's the one you can get. And then also we're going to use some tomato chutney, and I'm using the Whitlocks and Sons. Now, you know, you can get any tomato chutney, but I think they've actually changed it now. It's in a longer bottle, I just noticed, and it says it's a smoked one. So this one's also, I think, been discontinued, but the other one will be fine. We've got some cooking spray, which I'm using the rice brand because I'm using my fabulous Neoflam. And we've also got the most important ingredients here is the pampas, and it's the light puff pastry. Okay, yes, we're using this. Over the next 2 weeks, I'll be showing you how to do sweet and savoury. Well, today's savoury, next week will be sweet. I wonder what it is. Well, it rated very high in the top 50, so I thought you might want it. Billy, put this back in the freezer because we won't be using it straight up. And I'll tell you the difference of the pastry as we go along. But what we need to do first is the spud. Let's get the potato done. We want half a cup. And you don't want big dice, okay? Because it's going in a pasty, remember? So it's all about the filling. So I'm going to just do small dice, and you want half a cup. And I've got my cup measure here, so that's good. And we're going to microwave it on high with just a little water for 3 minutes. Now, my family love these, and what I'm going to do because we're coming into the festive season, I know it's only November, but we're all talking Christmas, aren't we? And I'm actually thinking I'm having a little bit of a gathering in a couple of weeks, and I'm actually going to make these into like samosa type shape, just little triangles for finger food. How good is that going to be? And you can make the filling ahead And when you're ready to put them together and bake, you're good to go. So to me, it's one of those easy recipes. All right, we want half a cup. I've got my little microwave dish here. I'm going to put just a little bit of water in. And I'm going to microwave that, as I said, on high for 3 minutes. Okay, so while that's cooking, I'll keep going. And I'm going to just now chop up the onion. So the onion needs to be finely diced, okay? Because once again, it's in the pasty, we don't want big chunks of anything. So I'm going to, and it's only 1/4 cup, remember? So I'm going to go through. If you've been watching the show for a while, you'll know this is the technique for doing onion. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go quite close to each slice, and that way I'm going to get really thin, small pieces of onion. All right, so as you can see, nice and fine. 1/4 cup we want. Oh my gosh, thanks for joining me today, because I just thought this is a recipe you know, I haven't made a lot of, because just been busy lately, but when we do have it at home, we love it. A little bit more. It freezes well too, so I like that. Actually, you know what I might do when I've got that function? I might actually make the mix the week before and freeze it. That's what I'll do. Don't you love that I'm working out my social calendar with you? Yeah, I'm going to do that, and that way then I can just defrost the filling, and I haven't had to work too hard. All right, so now let's bring our pan over, crank it up. So you can see it's very easy. All I've had to do is dice up some potato and onion. Now this serves 4, it gets 4 pasties. Bill probably would eat 2. I'm happy with 1, but I would also serve it with a big salad on the side for sure. And I'm just going to, I want that to be nice and hot. Let me turn that up a little bit more. And just, you're going to brown off the mince. Just put it in slowly. Now, if you want, what you can do is you can change this. So you could have the beef mince, which I'm doing today, and it's 7.3 grams of fat for the beef mince for each pasty. Or you could do it with lamb, which would be lovely as an Indian idea, and it's 8.7 as long as you buy the lean lamb. Or you could go pork, absolutely. Pork mince is fantastic. It's only 7.7 grams of fat per pasty. Or the chicken mince 8.2. Let me just wash my hands in the soapy sink. Just cook off that mince. Okay, my microwave is beeping at me. So let's get that out. Oh, the lid's come off. There we go. Just be careful, Annette. Okay, I'm just going to drain it over here. Actually, I'll get my tea towel and drain that water off. Here we go. Potatoes are done. Fabulous. As I said, you could really change the protein, and if you're vegetarian, you could actually do small diced tofu. I haven't done it, but I'm sure it would work really well. And just fry it off like I'm doing with the mince so that it gets a bit of a browning on it. All right, in goes the onion. It's such an easy recipe, and you could easily make a lot more by just double or tripling the recipe, because it'd be that easy. We're putting in 1/2 teaspoon each of garlic and ginger. Let me move that down, 1/2 teaspoon. Because I find it's really much easier to go up a recipe than go down. You know, like to add more things to it, it seems easier. There we go. Yum. Now let's put in the ticker. We want 2 teaspoons of ticker. I mean, and if you say, oh, I don't have any ticker in it, I mean, it would be lovely with another paste, like a red curry or a green curry. I'd be interested to know what other paste you would like. Let's now measure. I might turn this down a little bit. The tomato, but I'm going to put the taties in now. Oh, it smells so good. And you know, with the warmer weather now, with a salad, what a fantastic lunch or easy dinner, that's for sure. Now I want 1/3 cup of the tomato chutney. Remember, it can be any, just tomato chutney. Yeah? 1/3 cup. And it will give the moisture you need for the filling. There we go. I might just get my little scraper. I want all that out because it moistens it, but you don't want, as a pasty, you don't want it running. Oh yes. You just want flavour, don't you? And this is a flavour bomb, I'm telling you. Yes. All right, so now what I'm going to show you is a quick way to help get this cool. So in the recipe it says to put it in the fridge till it gets cool. You don't want to be working with this hot mix you don't want to put the hot mix in with the pastry, okay? So I'm just going to put it into, instead of just putting it into a bowl, I'm spreading it out so it will cool quicker. And in fact, there's nothing wrong with chucking it in the freezer if you're in a real hurry. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in the fridge. It will not take long. I'm going to be back real soon and we're going to make magic and we're going to make these pasties. Yum! Well, welcome back. My filling is cooled and fabulous. So what I'm going to do now is, I find it a bit hard to work out 1/4 of this per pasty. I mean, so I'm going to show you, there's 2 ways you can do it. And one is you could put all this into a cup measure or a 2-cup measure and look at where it goes to and then divide that by 4. So if it says it's 1/2 cups, then you divide that by 4 and that will give you the measures by cup. But I like to weigh it, and that's what I'm going to do now. So I bring my digital to 0 with the bowl on, and then I'm going to put all the filling into the bowl. As I said, remember we put it in the fridge. Doesn't take long if you spread it out like I did. Just going to scrape all that out, all that goodness. There we go. Right. In the soapy sink. All right, so now, Bill, have you got a calculator handy? Because it's weighing in at 332 grams. So divide that by 4 because we're making 4 pasties. 83 grams. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a smaller bowl on, take it to 0, and how much was it against 83? Yeah. So let's do 83. Oh. There we go. All right, so now I've got my 1 bit ready to go into one of the pasties. So this is where I've pretty well semi-defrosted, nearly defrosted it. And we're going to use the whole sheet because we're going to divide it into quarters. Now, don't guesstimate because you could end up with very odd shaped pasties. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure, so it's pretty well, oh, sticking on it. It's pretty well 25, so that's 12 and a half, yeah. So that's where I'll go with that. And then I'll just do another one here. And then now we want to just do what half of it is here again. And that's 24 and a half, so that'll be 12 and a quarter. There we go. And do the bottom as well. I'm a bit pedantic because I don't want to miss out and get a small one. All right, so now I'm going to get the bigger knife and I'm going to cut along where I've marked it. And then in the middle. Yeah, that looks good. I should have done one in the middle. Let me just mark it because I want it to be right. So, just put it, where is it? Yeah. There we go. And now I'm going to just cut down. There. Okay, now we're going to spray. It's not hard to do, it's just I'm being pedantic, as you know. Spray the tray. And then lift one of your triangles over here. Oh, Bill reckons it'll stick. All right, I'll stay there, Billy. You say it'll stick on the bench. All right, no problem. So where's my spoon? So here's my pre-measured out filling. Yeah, so let's do each of them. It was 83 and put it on. And if you're making more than 4, you just, as I said, you know what to do. You just double or triple the recipe. Another one. 83. Just remember the oven's preheated to 220. So it's a fairly hot oven, and you should always have it for this particular pastry. It needs to be at that temperature. And then we have our last one, which should be right. That way, see, everyone's got the same amount. No one's missing out. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it over and get the pasty shape. All right, so I'm just going to move it along a bit. Lift over the pastry. Keeping it on the blue wrap like Bill said. Bringing it over and pressing it down. All right. There we go. And then get your fork and push it down so it seals the filling. Yeah? Actually, I really want to get this away from the blue wrap. It's not really working for me, Bill. I didn't cut all the way through, yes. There we go. See, so everyone's doing it. Now I'm going to pull it away. Oh no, actually cutting the blue wrap, I never thought about that. That's what, see, look at that. Thank you, Billy. And just pushing it down. And then carefully put it on the tray. Now, so I'm going to be doing this for all 4. So now we've learned to cut through the blue Thank you, Mr. Sim. Move it along. Lift it over the top like a triangle. Now, you could do it rectangular if you wanted. It's sticking. See, this is why you only semi-defrost it. There we go. And as I said, we're going to push that filling in and just squish it down with your fork. I mean, they're homemade, people. It doesn't matter. They're not going to be like the bakers, but they'll taste better. I remember when I've got a pasty recipe in one of the other books. I can't think what book it's out of. Can you have a look in book 7, Bill? Because I've got pasties in one of the books and I just can't for the life of me think which one it is. And I remember making the recipe up because I'd never made pasties myself. I spent 3 years living in Tassie and pasties are just really popular down there. Book 5, Healthy Pasties. And it's just a normal traditional pasty recipe. This is Indian. And when I went and bought some pasties to see what they put in them, I was horrified. Most of them, you just got a bit of mashed potato and 2 little cubes of carrot and a couple of peas. Yeah, very, very bad, I thought. So I made it much better. So if you like pasties, you have to look at that one. And I give you 2 ways to do it in the other book. Like this one, you're using the light puff. But in my recipe, I didn't use, it's only in More Cooking that I've actually used the light puff pastry. I've never used it before because I've always thought it was a bit high in fat. And I don't know if they even had it back in book 5. But you can make it with filo pastry, or you can actually make your own pastry. There we go. Spray on the top. In the oven. Now they're going to take probably 12 to 15 minutes. I'm going to check it at 12. There. Remember, 220. Look, I'm going to clean this up and we'll be back with the finished product. Won't be long. Okay, the oven is beeping at me, so I've checked. I've actually did 5 more minutes on the pasties because I like them to be in a golden brown. And here we go. Yum. Look at those pasties, aren't they fabulous? Homemade, fabulous, from More Cooking from 102. So I've made a salad up. Just put that over there. There's my late lunch, that's for sure. So when you think about this, you've got to be saying it. Say it with me. Who knew weight loss could be so deliciously healthy? This is a guilt-free pasty. Remember, it's only like 7.3 grams of fat per pasty. Yeah? Now, if you'd like to win More Cooking 102, what do? Well, you like, you share, and then in the comments, you write hashtag Simply Too Good. Right, Simply Too Good in the comments, and I'll pick 3 people that will get a personally signed copy of this book. Now, next week's show, I'm going sweet, and I'm going to be using the light puff pastry again because I just thought you've got it in the freezer now if you're going to make the pasties. Let's show you different ways to use it. And this was one that rated very highly in the top 50 best recipes. What was it? Billy's favourite. Yes, it is. It's the vanilla slice. Oh yes, we're going to be making that on the show next week, show you how easy and simple homemade vanilla slice is and so much healthier and low in fat. I mean, 774 calories for one normal pasty. My way is only 233. So there you go. I mean, look, if you want more tips, recipes, ideas, support, you know where to find me at simplytoogood.com.au. And don't forget, the coconut essence is now available on my website in the shop. So I hope that helps you find it. All right, so we're done for another week, and I will catch you, Vanilla Slice, don't miss it, next Thursday, same time, same place. Bye now.